Hello, fellow YouTube webpage users. My name is host Eric, and I am the host of Talking with Famous People. And tonight I want to talk about the ENTP and likability. Likability, that's right. Why? Because I found this cool page on the internet I was looking at called WorldTypeAlliance.com MBTI Likability Index Series, ENTP, with hyphens. I don't know. Maybe I'll link to it, maybe I won't. Anyway, it says ENTP stirs up a variety of strong reactions from people in different parts of their lives that, one, admire and like the ENTP, two, viscerally dislike them, and three, those who both like and loathe the ENTP at the same time. That rings so fucking true to me. There are people who like me despite myself. There are people who hate me because of myself. And there are people who do both concurrently. I think it's fair to say that. Okay, so I thought this paragraph was interesting. ENTPs may be the least self-aware of all the personality types. They're able to analyze themselves and those around them, but that keen ability to analyze may not reach a deep understanding of themselves and others. People close to the ENTP who should be to whom they turn to and confide in rarely get a true picture of what is actually happening inwardly to the ENTP because of the ENTP's inability to explain themselves to themselves. Because of this, the ENTP can feel isolated from others, are often subject to periodic personal depression. I'm not subject to periodic personal depression. I would say it's quite possible that the ENTP simply doesn't quite. I mean, it's odd to think about this because here I am engaged in this ongoing self-analysis and analysis of the type and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I sort of feel like, well, all that stuff's squishy, you know? So, what does it mean to me that I have real self-knowledge? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means because I'm not sure these people know what it means either. It's quite possible that non-rationalist types are looking at this one box that we've tossed aside in the corner and they're digging through it and just marveling at it and wondering why we aren't valuing the wonderful things in there and not being aware of the fact that we got 50 other boxes in the room we're looking at. And they don't really have that many boxes. That's a possibility. I mean, it's a little condescending, it's a little self-important maybe, but I kind of get that feeling, this whole self-awareness thing. I don't know. I don't understand what it is. Inability to explain themselves to themselves. Well, I'm doing a pretty good job of explaining myself to myself, I think. Alright, relationships. Relationships with ENTPs can be a wild ride to the change-averse. Here are the people who we're gonna have problems with according to this. ISTJ and ESTJ shaking their heads. The mad charge of the ENTP into uncharted waters without experience to or data to guide their direction. So ISTJs and ESTJs are going to be alarmed by our risk-taking. INTJ and ENTJ are likely to find us highly offensive because we don't need to have a model or architecture to guide our actions. And I think that's important. We can also offend the ENFJ, ENFP, and other NFs because our conversations seem to display a total lack of caring for the way our words might wound others around us. But it also points out here that ENTPs are loving people who provide well for their families and many times express their love through what they do for them in terms of keeping things working well, providing for a good future for those they love, and are committed to. ENTPs are most often loyal people. Those who matter most to them. I'd like to think I'm extremely low. I'd like to think it's a virtue I can have no hesitation about claiming. It says here, ENTPs will most often flourish in relationships with people who get them, quote unquote, who respect and understand their genius as well as their communication pattern. I mean, I do like to be thought of as smart, I guess. I do like to have my ideas taken seriously. That's really nice. I do like to sleep occasionally when I'm really tired. Also, this other cool thing here. I wanted to share with you guys. Where is it? I like this one. This is a different page. This is from PreludeCharacterAnalysis.com. www.PreludeCharacterAnalysis. And it says here, the ENTP is so plausible because they believe what they say. This is not to say they are untruthful. It is more that they mean what they say at the moment they say it, but they do genuinely move on and keep changing. The ENTP may be difficult to keep up with, but it will be an exhilarating, memorable journey. Yeah. Well, I mean, the only thing that really was interesting to me there was the ENTP is so plausible because they believe what they say. It's not to say they're untruthful, which is to say that that's what they're sort of saying, right? Yeah, I genuinely believe what I'm saying, even if I'm arguing the other position. Even if I'm arguing the position I don't believe in, because at the time I'm making those arguments, I genuinely believe they're the strongest arguments that can be made at the time for that side that I'm arguing. So, I guess that's why I genuinely believe it. There's one more thing I wanted to read here. Excuse my yawnings. The ENTP low boredom threshold means that when conflict occurs, it is over and they move on. They do not tend to bear grudges or ever look back. There are so many more exciting opportunities to come. This is something that used to cause a lot of problems between me and my ex-wife. We'd have some sort of small conflict, and it would end, and that would be that, you know. And then she'd still be mad about it, and then this would cause these conflicts to reignite and reignite and reignite because she was not okay with solutions unless there's some sort of like feeling massaging done in the process. Okay. And then there's something else I really liked that I thought was interesting. Oh yeah, this cool page, the one that says where is it? I bookmarked it, so. This is a great article. Caring for your ENTP. It's got a sort of essay conceit of using the language one would use for adopting a new pet or something, and that's kind of dorky, but whatever. There's a lot of good things in here. If your primary function is FE or TE, you will find that the ENTP is an enjoyable companion and an empathetic ear, but the two of you will run into trouble. ENFJs, ENTJs, and ESFJs will be able to connect with an ENTP easily, but may have trouble maintaining that connection. While fully capable of doing so, ENTPs do not naturally enjoy using social currency. They will naturally schmooze, call in favors, and come to your rescue, but will either fail to acknowledge or wholly resent the idea this is based on some sort of status or debt. Testify, sister. And then there's something else I want to read here. This is so important. Your ENTP is also an adept, if somewhat reluctant, user of extroverted feeling, and is thus able to navigate your holiday party, family dinner, corporate retreat, or otherwise socially uncomfortable situation. But this should not be mistaken for the sort of existential connection required to keep an ENTP satisfied. Absolutely not. You are asking the ENTP to do work when you do that. Validation. The ENTP is by nature a self-assured creature, which also makes it very fragile. Regular maintenance in this arena will keep your ENTP healthy and positive and nurture both TI and FE. ENTPs love and appreciate attention, but are especially good at detecting and appreciating attention from a genuine origin. True. So here, the ENTP is adept at all manners of social interaction, can easily fend for itself in an FE-heavy environment. However, make no mistake, these sensitive creatures prefer to view the world in an intuitive fashion. Although conscious of social expectations and generally polite, the act of engaging in extroverted feeling is absolutely exhausting to your ENTP. As such, they may be temperamental, argumentative, or unpredictable when they are placed in uncomfortable social situations. It would be advisable to keep your ENTP away from such situations to avoid unpleasant TI-related outbursts. For example, your ENTP will be charming and pleasant throughout your family Thanksgiving party, but this act will be exhausting to them as there is no interaction the ENTP would consider genuine. I wish I had read this when I was married to Candace. Furthermore, if left to its own devices in such a situation, an untrained ENTP may find it difficult to resist the temptation to tell your crazy right-wing aunt exactly why her position on gay marriage is wrong. Well, yeah, I mean, why anyone would want to go have a bunch of fucking fake interactions is beyond me. And this used to drive me nuts. It's like my wife's like, ex-wife was like, just like, you're not being fake enough, basically. It's like, go fuck yourself. I mean, you're not doing anything of any value. If you want to go spend a bunch of time in a bunch of banal bullshit interactions with people, it's not of any value to anything. That's it. See, I'm displaying the trait. TI-related outbursts. Feed your ENTP regularly. The ENTP will appreciate the simple joys of SI, a sweater, a meal, a hike. You know, and they need another person to do that stuff for them. We do. Exercise caution. Don't make your ENTP angry. If your ENTP has done something to upset you, they can be trained easily with clear and direct communication of what they have done and how the issue can be resolved. They may be sensitive in this arena, so be sure to express your concern in as reasonable a manner as possible. If your concern is expressed in an emotional or mature fashion, the ENTP will likely default to FE against their will and lash out or disengage entirely from your relationship. The ENTP likes to engage in problem solving and will approach any disagreement well from this angle. Now, if you are in a relationship with an ENTP and he is going out of his way to put a lot of time and effort into trying to solve problems, your job then is to allow the problems to be solved. Not to play yeah but, okay? What my ex-wife did. Drove me fucking nuts. If you have wronged the ENTP and the issues addressed, it will be forgiven. I will instantly. Although they do not tend to forget things easily. On the other hand, if you have deliberately done something to harm or upset your ENTP, or have wronged someone they care about, you are really in for it. Your best course of action in such a scenario is to find a new circle of friends. Whether the ENTP intends to engage in such behavior or not, you will become socially destroyed if you dare attack within its protected range. Absolutely fucking true. I mean, look, and the thing is, I don't ever have to fight those battles, really. But it happened last year, and it changed my perspective on things. I'm a little bit more fighty than I used to be, or at least vigilant and keeping a bit more of a lookout. So I like this articles. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of yawning in it, but I thought some good stuff I found on the internet.